Hi guys, it's Crystal. Today I'm going to be reviewing After Obsession by Carrie Jones and Steve Wedel. It's my gorgeous cover. Right that way. That's beautiful. Anyway, this book is kind of a creepy one. It's good because I haven't read a really good creepy YA book in a long time. I used to read them more when I was like in junior high and high school. But it was a good kind of change for a while. Book kind of reminds me a little bit of Poltergeist, which is my favorite like horror movie, and The Exorcist. Just I guess the subject material, but way toned down for a YA audience. It's kind of good and creepy, which I wasn't really expecting that it would be that creepy, but maybe it helps that, you know, I'm reading this at 2 in the morning, which I usually do. But I really liked the different perspectives too in this book, because there's two authors. I didn't know how this was going to work until Callie told me, and Kelly told me that each author took one of the characters' perspectives. Carrie did, you know, the female leads. She wrote those chapters, and Stephen wrote the male chapters, and they alternate, you know, back and forth. So that made me even more curious to read this, and I kind of liked how that worked out because I hadn't read either author before. So it kind of gave me a taste of their different writing styles, and I always find that interesting how two authors with such, you know, different creative ideas can work together, and I think it actually worked really well in this book. So if you're after a good creepy read, it takes place in Maine. I like the atmosphere in this, and the different Native American elements, and all that jazz. So if you're looking for a good kind of change of pace from, you know, the, you know, lighter or more fantasy-driven books, I think this would be a good take on possession, basically. Okay, so I'm combining this video, my review, with our obsessions. We all decided to do a video on our different obsessions from different stages in our lives. And you know what? My friend from high school said something to me and it totally clicked and made sense. She said that I'm obsessed with obsessions, and I am. It totally fits. I used to always collect everything. I still do, right? So, okay, when I was young, like I'd say late grade school, elementary school, I was obsessed with Beverly Hills 90210. Not New Kids on the Block. I hated New Kids on the Block, always. But I loved 90210. I had everything. I had pillows and watches and t-shirts, all neon, of course, right? All the posters from, you know, Tiger Beat and everything all over my wall with Paula Abdul and MC Hammer, which I did have a shirt of, by the way. That was my very first concert too, Paula Abdul. Okay, I was obsessed with that, and, you know, toys and everything. I collected Barbies as a kid. When I was probably, okay, like every other 11, 12-year-old girl my age at the time, was obsessed with Jonathan Taylor Thomas. And sadly, he still does look like his 12-year-old self. But also at that time, like Boys to Men and All for One, different boy bands were kind of making the rounds. I think we were all obsessed with them. What else? Oh, I was really obsessed with R.L. Stine. I started out with like Goosebumps books in elementary school. I was always obsessed with reading. But those came out when I was in elementary school, and I loved those. And then when I got a little older, like junior high, his Fear Street books, you know, were coming out, and I loved those. And then that led me into Christopher Pike, which I still love. I still love him. Let's see, outside of junior high, high school. God, everything. High school sucked though, right? I think you're most obsessed with in high school is your social life. Not just your social life, but everyone's social life. You know, when's the next party, who's dating who, you know, who sits with who at lunch, and who's, you know, where you're going to go to the next game. Not to watch the actual football game, but to, you know, just talk and hang out. The next party is, so it's kind of just your social life, I think, is your obsession in high school. What else? Oh, I was really obsessed with the Baz Luhrmann Romeo and Juliet came out when I was in like 9th grade, maybe. I was really obsessed with that. I had, you know, the posters and stuff from magazines hung on my wall, and Titanic, I was obsessed with that, and Ever After. I loved Ever After. And Scotland, I don't know why. I mean, I always loved Scotland, but I had this weird phase when I was like 14 or 15. I don't know. I went to these travel agencies and I just got like brochures and cut out pictures of it, castles and stuff, and made this stupid collage. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah. And music-wise, I don't know. I guess the No Strings Attached album was really big in high school. Everyone was doing the, bye, bye, bye dance. I don't know. And then later on, it was like Jane Austen movies and books. In college, I was obsessed with, always obsessed with traveling, but I think I got the bug more when I started college and going off with my friends and traveling abroad. And now I am obsessed with Twilight, right? You can see behind me, because I work on a fan site, and books, reading, especially YA books, really good YA books. And I'm always obsessed with movies and photography and music, so can't think of anything in particular right now, movie or music-wise, but fall movie season's coming up, and those are all the good Oscar contenders, so I know I'm going to freak out a bit about that. So those are my obsessions, just a couple of them.